So I've been reflecting a lot on threats to long-term recovery, threats to long-term sobriety. And the number one threat to long-term recovery, all the research I've done, all the people I've talked to, there's one common theme that keeps coming up. What's that thing that can jeopardize somebody's recovery, can move them all the way back to square one, get them back to rock bottom very quickly, even if they've been established in recovery for a long period of time. And that one thing is what's coming up commonly with the people I've talked to, with the research that I've done. That one thing is complacency. There's this term that we use in the military that complacency kills, and that's absolutely true. Complacency is just when we do something long enough and we start to feel secure enough that we feel like those little things that we need to do for ourselves, for our recovery, for work, whatever it is, we start to let those things lapse, or we let some time go by where we're not doing some of those simple things. So I'm actually coming to you right now from outside my hotel room in Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona, and I came out here because there was some complacency going on in my life, not in my, somewhat in my recovery, but a lot in my work, a lot in my personal life. And what I decided to do was take action to help avoid some of that complacency so that it didn't kill me, so it didn't kill my progress, so it didn't kill or derail me from achieving those goals. And that's what I want to talk about, because this is such an important thing to do. You know, there's huge steps and huge changes that we make early in recovery that help us establish new habits, new thought patterns, and a new life. But if we don't continue some of those things, just because we've been in recovery for a number of years doesn't mean that we're guaranteed and we're secure in recovery for a whole life. I'm sure that you know somebody that has been in recovery or was in recovery for a period of time, and then after years, when everything seemed to be going well, they went right back to square one and they fell back into their old ways. So there's things that we can do to avoid that complacency so that we don't find ourselves falling back. We don't find ourselves tripping up or falling down again. And that's what brought me out here to Arizona. So I've talked about it a lot. I share a lot of the work by my mentor, Jack Canfield. And my first introduction to his work was when I came to Arizona years ago to take a workshop. That was really when I solidified my recovery, when I really made and ingrained some new habits, some new thought patterns, some new ways of life, new ways of understanding myself and this journey of life. But that's really when my recovery started. And it's been a great path since then. My life has been a great journey since then of learning some of these principles, sharing these principles with other people. I bring a lot of what I learned from Jack and through the work that he does at this seminar and at other seminars that he gives. I bring a lot of that knowledge and those tools and those resources into the work that I do, helping people in recovery. So you're probably familiar with a lot of the material, a lot of the skills, a lot of the tools, because I share it through the work that I do, both with the online program, Thriving in Your Recovery, and when I work with people individually. Even some of the challenges and some of the free products and programs and resources that I put out are based on things that I learned here first years ago when I came through this 5-day workshop. But I realized there was a place in my life where I was getting to be a little complacent. There's some simple things that I wasn't doing, little things, just little habits that I had picked up that were really great for my life and for my recovery that I was starting to let slide and let slip. So to help prevent me from falling too much more into that complacency, from helping me fall too far away from that path and what my healthy recovery looks like, I decided I need to stop. I need to go back to the basics. I need to kind of go back and refresh. I need to become that student again. I need to become re-immersed in the skills and in the resource and in the conversation and in the habits and in the support and in that connection that really secures my recovery. And if you're facing this, if you're in recovery yourself, do a self-assessment, analyze, where are you right now? What do the habits look like? What are the things that you're doing? Are you growing complacent? Are you starting to take your recovery for granted? Are you starting to take some of those things that you know are good for you, but you're not doing? Are you making excuses? Are you changing because now you feel like you're strong in your recovery? You've been there long enough. You've been experiencing a successful recovery for long enough that you just don't need to do those things. And if you find that's true, if you find that you're letting some of those things slide, and if you're not doing some of those things, and I would suggest that complacency is going to play a factor in your life, and it could be very, very soon. So to avoid that, there's some things that we can do. One, we go back to the basics. That's what brought me back out here to Arizona. I'm going back to being a student again, putting my learner's cap on, immersing myself in the environment and in the support system and in that, in the place where I can learn more and grow more myself, and being reinvigorated to bring back some of those daily disciplines, those daily habits that make my life and make my recovery what I want it to be, and help me live into my potential for my life and recovery. So you can do that by going back to the basics. Remember, wherever you got your start in recovery, kind of go back and investigate some of those things that you learned the first time. Investigate it with a new mind. Go back with a new curiosity. Go back with the awareness and the experience that you now have, and view some of those things again as though you're viewing it for the first time, and see what you can learn now that you didn't pick up before. See what maybe you knew and you started to forget. What can you bring back into your life? There's other ways that we can avoid complacency. I bring this from my military background, as we can teach other people by re-ingraining ourselves, or by re-immersing ourselves in those principles and in the things and the regular practices and the habits and the knowledge that we know changed our life or affected our life. By re-immersing ourselves in there as a teacher now, we're bringing a lot of that back into our life, and we're allowing it to come back in. So whether if you're in recovery, you can take a sponsor and start teaching, start going back to square one, help them working through the steps. If your recovery took a different path, then just finding somebody else that you can mentor, guide along that way, so that you can help them. But at the same time, you're bringing yourself kind of back to square one, so that you can look at things anew, look at them with a new set of eyes, refresh your own knowledge, refresh your own skills, your own thought patterns, just so that you can avoid that complacency. So do that self-assessment. Figure out if there's some ways that you've deviated. What can you do to re-immerse yourself? Maybe go back and read some of the literature, read the book again that you read, and just kind of go back to square one. Review the step processes that you've done, review the work that you've done over the last couple of years or last couple of months, and see if there's ways that you can apply some more of that into your life, so that you don't fall prey to this complacency. There's, recovery is a lifelong process. Living into our potential, living the best versions of ourselves, that's a lifelong process. It's something we got to work on every day, and we can't let slide some of those simple things. So if you find that you're letting some of those things slide, well, then you're likely also falling short of the true potential that you have for happiness, for success, and for fulfillment in your life. So use this as a reminder. If there's anything I can do to support you, if you'd like to learn about some of the other work that I do, some of the ways that I help people that are in recovery, or some of the programs that might be available to you, please reach out at any time. If you have any thoughts about this, please share it in the comments below. But thanks for checking out this video, and thanks for taking your recovery seriously and learning ways that you can live more into your potential and have the best recovery that you certainly deserve. So you be well. I'll look for you in the next video.